Welcome back. In this lesson, we're exploring how ancient spiritual wisdom gets lived out in modern life. You might be wondering, what do pagans actually do? Well, this lesson will show you how ancient traditions can translate into contemporary spiritual practices. We'll discover that modern paganism isn't about recreating the past exactly, but about finding authentic ways to apply timeless spiritual principles in our 21st century lives. Modern paganism faces a unique challenge. How do we honor ancient wisdom while living in the 21st century? Well, ancient pagans lived in agricultural societies where everyone followed the same seasonal rhythms. They had extended families, lived in small communities, and shared cultural knowledge passed down through generations. Today, we live in diverse urban environments with global connections. We have day jobs, pay mortgages, and deal with technology that, well, frankly, the ancients never could have imagined. So modern pagans become translators, if you will, taking ancient principles and finding ways to apply them meaningfully in contemporary life. This doesn't mean we're just making things up. Good modern pagan practice is built on solid research, cultural understanding, and of course, a respect for the tradition. Let's look into what modern pagans actually do in their daily lives. Most maintain some form of daily or regular spiritual practice, but these are usually simple and adaptable to busy modern lives. Morning practices might include greeting the sunrise or acknowledging the new day, brief prayers or expressions of gratitude, lighting a candle or incense at a personal altar, spending a few minutes outdoors, even if just on a balcony, a front porch, or maybe even setting daily intentions aligned with your spiritual values. Evening practices often involve expressing gratitude for the day's experiences, brief meditation or reflection, prayers for loved ones or the world, journaling about spiritual insights, or preparing for restful sleep with calming rituals. The key here is consistency and intention, not elaborate ceremonies. Many pagans mark the changing seasons with celebrations or quiet acknowledgments, though the specific celebrations, of course, vary by tradition. This might mean having a feast at harvest time, lighting candles during the darkest part of winter, or spending time outdoors during spring's return. The specific celebrations vary by tradition. Some follow the Wiccan Wheel of the Year, others follow and celebrate the Celtic fire festivals, Norse seasonal festivals, or create their own seasonal acknowledgments. The key is developing awareness of how seasons affect your energy, your mood, and spiritual life, and then finding meaningful ways to honor these transitions. Here's how ancient practices get adapted for modern life. Urban paganism recognizes that you don't need to live in a countryside to connect with nature. Urban pagans might work with houseplants, visit local parks for nature connection, create small balcony gardens, or connect with the elements through indoor altars and shrines. Apartment-friendly practices adapt to space limitations, using candles instead of bonfires, creating a small personal altar space or shrine space, or practicing outdoors in available public spaces. Modern pagan families often create traditions that work with their specific situations, whether that's a simplified seasonal celebration, bedtime prayers to a pagan deity, or teaching children about nature connection and respect for diversity. Most pagans also engage with community in some way, whether online or in person. Online communities include social media groups focused on specific traditions, forums for asking questions, sharing experiences, virtual celebrations and study groups, and opportunities to meet new teachers and mentors. Some local connections might involve public ritual groups and pagan meetups, seasonal celebration gatherings, study groups focused on a specific tradition, or attending larger pagan festivals and conventions. Many pagans balance online and in-person community involvement, finding what works for their schedule, their comfort level, and their own spiritual needs. Modern pagans integrate their spiritual practices with everyday responsibilities. In professional life, many keep their spiritual practices private at work while applying pagan ethics and values to their business decisions. They might wear subtle jewelry with spiritual symbols, use lunch breaks for nature connection or brief meditation, or simply approach their work with greater mindfulness and ethical awareness. The goal isn't to separate spiritual life from daily life, but to infuse regular activities with spiritual awareness. Modern paganism is about taking timeless principles, connection with nature, honoring the sacred, living with intention, and finding authentic ways to practice them in contemporary life. The key principles include prioritizing intention and personal meaning over elaborate ritual requirements, or maintaining personal connection with nature regardless of your own living situation, engaging with community for support and learning while respecting the individual paths, balancing spiritual practice with modern responsibilities like work and family, and focusing on authenticity and personal growth rather than perfect adherence to historical practices. Remember, there's no single right way to be a modern pagan, which is both the challenge and the beauty of these traditions. In our next lesson, we'll explore how different traditions approach seasonal spirituality. Thank you for listening to this portion of Lesson 3. Please continue with the course sections below, and I'll see you in the next one.